one of the main reasons for losing a lot of matches and losing a lot of rank points when playing battle royale rank matches is because of the mistakes that we do in those matches. So in today's video, I'm going to tell you guys 5 big mistakes that players do, and I will also tell you guys how to fix those mistakes. So without wasting any more time, first of all, let's start with mistake number 1. Now the first mistake that players do is that when they are landing, they land with other enemies. For example, let's say when you're landing, there are some other enemies that are coming with you. So if you land on a place where there are going to be enemies, the problem with that is if the enemy lands first and if the enemy gets a gun before you, the enemy might quickly attack you and knock you down. So if you guys get eliminated early on in the match, you will lose a lot of rank points. So when landing, if there are other enemies that are coming with you, try to quickly change your direction and go to another place. But if you can't really change your location, if you're too late to change your location, once you land, try to quickly go and find a gun. So if you find a gun, you can defend yourself against the other enemies. Now guys, the second mistake that players do is rushing the enemies early on in the match without looting the necessary items. So for example, let's say that you landed on a place, and if you just see an enemy, if you just pick up a gun and then go to attack the enemy without a vest, if the enemy has a gun, for example, let's say that the enemy has an M1014, if the enemy does a lot of damage to you, he might easily take you down, because as you guys know, the M1014 can do a lot of damage when you are very close to the enemy, and if you don't have a vest in such a situation, you might get a lot more damage. As you guys know, a vest can reduce the amount of damage that we get. So if you don't have a vest and if the enemy attacks us with a high damage gun, they might easily knock us down. So guys, in the beginning, once you land, try to quickly find the necessary items that you need. So for example, when you first land, try to find a vest, try to find the guns that you need, try to find glue walls, medikits, try to quickly find the necessary items that you need. And in the beginning of the match, I would highly recommend that you avoid fights. If the enemy is very close to you and if the enemy is becoming very close to you, it's okay to attack the enemy, but if the enemy is just far away from you, try to quickly collect the necessary items and just avoid the fights in the beginning of the match, because as I said earlier, if you get eliminated early on in the match, you will lose a lot of rank points. So in the beginning, try to focus more on looting the items instead of attacking the enemies. So guys, now let's move on to mistake number 3. Now as you guys might know, a lot of the time when we are playing BR rank matches, there will be a lot of enemies that are camping in different type of houses. So for example, let's take the peak house. A lot of the time the enemies will be camping near the staircase, or else they might even place a landmine near the staircase. So the third mistake that players do is that they will just rush into the house blindly, even without checking whether there are any campers in that place or whether there are any landmines in that place. And if you just go and rush in blindly, either the enemy might jump out and attack you, or you might get eliminated or damaged by the landmine. So before you rush into a house, first of all, see whether there are any enemies in that house. So for example, as we are talking about the peak house, first of all, you guys can see through the windows whether there's an enemy near that staircase. Now if you guys can't really see whether there's an enemy near the staircase, another thing that you guys can do is you can time and throw a grenade onto that place. So if an enemy is hiding near the staircase, when that grenade comes near him, he might run away from that place, or else he might get eliminated by that grenade. Now another thing that enemies might do is that they might place a landmine near the staircase. So to break a landmine, what you can do is you can go to the floor below that and you can just jump upwards. So if there's a landmine above that, it will get destroyed when you jump upwards. So as I said earlier, before you rush into a house, first of all, see whether there are any enemies in that place, or see whether there are any traps in that place. Now guys, before I move on to mistake number 4, I want to talk to you guys about the giveaway. So guys, this time I'm going to be giving away 2 new items to 10 lucky winners. So the first item that I'm going to be giving away is this Ferocious Gunman bundle. As you guys can see here, this is the Ferocious Gunman bundle. 2 of the things that I like about this bundle is number 1, the top of this bundle, as you guys can see here, it has a really nice animation on it, a cloudy animation, and it also has a tiger logo in the back. Another thing that I really like about this bundle is the hair of this bundle. Now moving on to the second item that I'm going to be giving away. The second item that I'm going to be giving away is this new katana skin called the Dangerous Curse. As you guys can see here, it also has a really nice animation as well. So I'm going to be giving away these 2 items to 10 lucky winners. If you guys want to enter the giveaway, make sure to comment down your in-game UID and also comment down your thoughts on these 2 items, and I will personally select 10 lucky winners from the comment section of this video. So guys, now let's move on to mistake number 4. Now for example, let's say that your squad and another squad get into a fight, and in that fight the enemy squad takes down 3 teammates of your side and you are the only person remaining. Now a mistake that players do usually in such a situation is that they will go and rush the enemy, and if you go in and rush the enemy, there's a high chance that you might get eliminated. Now the problem with getting eliminated in such a situation is that not just yours but your whole teammates' rank points could also go down. So a better idea in such a situation is to just fall back from that place and then go on and revive your teammates through either revival towers or revival cards. Now if there are no revival cards or revival towers, another thing that you guys can do is survive until the top 10. Now most of the time when we survive until the top 10, we won't lose rank points. So once you get to top 10, you can go for the kills and get more points. So as I said earlier, in such a situation, it's a better idea to fall back and revive your teammates. So guys, now let's move on to mistake number 5. Now guys, in rank matches, a lot of the time the enemies will be either having high fire rate guns or high damage guns. Now if you have a high fire rate gun or a high damage gun, a lot of the time it is very easy to quickly take down enemies with either body shots or drag headshots. And even the players that are in these higher ranks, I have seen that in their profiles, a lot of the time their headshot rate is very low but their KD rate is very high. Now the mistake that players do is that they will go with one touch when they don't really know how to do one touch very well. Now for example, let's say that you're a player that doesn't know how to do one touch very well. If you go into a match and if you try to do one touch with an enemy that has either a high fire rate gun or a high damage gun, if you miss a lot of shots, that enemy will quickly take you down. Now if you are a person that knows how to do one touch very well and if you are confident that you can actually take down the enemy with the one tap without missing a lot, you guys can go with one touch. But if you are a person that doesn't know how to do one touch very well, I would recommend that you go with either drag headshots or body shots. Personally, when I'm playing rank matches, I would go with guns that I could do drag headshots or body shots. And the reason that I do this is because if I miss a lot of shots, I know that the other enemy that has a high fire rate gun or a high damage gun might easily knock me down. So when I'm playing rank matches, I usually go with either drag headshots or body shots, and I try to avoid doing one tap headshots. But when I'm playing classic matches or if I'm playing for fun, I would just go for one taps just to practice. Personally, the two guns that I use a lot when I'm playing rank matches, number 1 is the SCAR for long range and number 2 the M1014 for short range. Now guys, another very important thing when we are playing battle royale rank matches is a very good character combination. So if you guys want to know one of the best character combinations for survival, make sure to check out this video, and I'll see you guys later on with another video. And until then, take it easy fam. Peace.